country. We want to believe that our leaders have the heart of this country, that none is selfish, but we will see as the days goes by.
All right, thank you, Mheshimiwa. We also have another panelist over here. He's also a permanent guest. He is the youth leader for the Jubilee Party. We have Honorable Samuel Mundia. Karibu.
Thank you, Betty,
yes,
for inviting me again. As Jubilee Youth Defender 001 and a youth defender, the next government, that is 2022 to 2027, will be formed by the youth. And my friend here, he needs to tell us who is their party leader for NDM, so that we know who is succeeding who. Yes.
all right, thank you, Mheshimiwa. Next we have Abby Zuena, who is a youth consultant and a political analyst. Karibu.
Thank you so much for having me. First and foremost, I'm a born-again Christian. This is actually my youth leader in Jubilee. So when he calls, I have to show up and come, and I'm happy to be here. About succession politics in this country, I'm so happy because for the first time we're having a conversation where everybody is speaking their minds, whether it's accepted or not.
Yes.
People are breaking out of their comfortable zones, and it means we are progressing as a country. So it's the best time for anybody to position themselves for the next government that is coming to place.
All right, thank you. And last but not least, we have Honorable Wachira, who is a political analyst. Karibu.
Yes, asante sana. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I am happy to be here. And I would like to say that now the conversation about 2022 succession politics has already started.
Yes.
So now we have enough time to contemplate on what we want from 2022.
Yes.
And those who are saying that they will take the government from 2022 onwards, we wish them well.
Yes.
But personally, as a young person in this country, I know where we are headed as a country. We already know what people are saying outside there.
Yes.
Because like me, I live in a slum. I wake up there. I live there. When I'm going to shop, I meet with all type of people. So I know where the country is headed.
Yes.
Now, I am happy that young people in this country can now sit here.
Yes.
And start discussing about 2022 politics. And that is the most important thing, because the young people are the future of any country. Yes.
Thank you. Now, as you have seen, we have analysts in the show tonight. They are people who have studied on the development of political systems, subjects, ideologies, and are a perfect fit for what you're about to discuss tonight on the show. Now, one of the things that has been making headlines is on the dissolution of Parliament, the 12th Parliament, for failing to enact the 2/3 gender rule. Now, the LSK chair, Nelson Harvey, a few days back had a number of things to say on the same. We're going to play a video just about now on what the LSK chair said, and we're going to take a look at it and analyze and see what is happening right now and how we're going to go about it. Yes.
The Constitution of Kenya. Be that as it may, the courts have interpreted time where time is not specified for the performance of an act required under the Constitution as being reasonable time not exceeding 21 days. Counting 21 days from the 21st of September 2020 will take us to the 12th of October 2020. The President will be in violation of the Constitution should he fail to dissolve Parliament on or before the 12th of October 2020. Regardless of the President's action or inaction, Parliament will be unlawful effective the 12th of October 2020. The consequence of this is this: any legislative authority exercised by Parliament subsequent thereafter will be without the authority of the people of Kenya.
Yes, so now you have seen for yourself that Nelson Harvey, who is the Law Society of Kenya chair, say that whatever Parliament does after the 12th of October should be considered as null and void, or rather is illegal. What do you have to say about that? I'll start with you, Moses Gashugi.
He has his right of say, and to some extent I agree with him that the president needs to advise the country moving forward. My issue from the beginning has been, even if we were to dissolve this parliament, this two-third gender role debate needs to be taken further than that. How do we achieve the two-thirds? How do we get more women elected? Or even if it was the other way around, how would we have had? The conversation should change from, it's becoming emotional. We understand and we do appreciate that women do need to be considered, but the conversation should not be strictly on the law. It's how do we apply this issue. And I think I said last time, we need to talk to the political parties, because it's right from the political party that will ensure we have the right number of men and women. Even if the president sends this, I know Kenyans want the MPs to go home because they are tired. We get others, they will not be two-thirds. What happens? So I think the president of LSK has valid points. The law needs to be followed. But I would advise the president to go slow on this issue.
All right, Samuel Mundia, what do you have to say about that?
Number one, even the Supreme Court is not gendered. Even the whole judiciary right now is not gendered.
Yes.
So him first, he need to do some work in his own home before saying other houses they are not beautiful.
Yes.
First, let him start at home. Do the planning, reshuffle the judges and whatever. Then about the parliament. The parliament is not the problem.
Yes.
It's we Wanjiko. Because we had a lot of women who went for elected position.
Yes.
But we did not vote for women. And also I have an issue with that, to that gender role.
Yes.
There's a letter I wrote to parliament asking them they need to divide it further from women, women who are youth,
Yes.
and the youth men, the boy child, and the disability.
Yeah.
It needs to be clear that it's not just women, but also we have the youth that need, because right now we cannot, the youth policies cannot pass freely in the parliament because we don't have numbers.
Representatives.
Yes.
All right, Abizwena.
Well, I'd like to say this. The president of LSK has been very vocal about a lot of issues. And just like my friend has said, in his own environment, the LSK, he does not even observe the two-third gender rule. I feel he's gotten to a place where he's so political on a lot of issues, because any sensible person right now, and even the CJ Maraga, because he's the one who initiated this whole conversation, from his point, is advising the president. Think about this and see, is dissolving parliament the best way to go. The MPs also had their own presser and said, we want to have a conversation. And I feel the first step towards solving this is having a stakeholders meeting of everybody involved. The women groups, the church, the business community, political parties, you know, the judiciary, everybody should sit in the table and then see how we move forward. Because dissolving parliament will take us 10 steps back. Can you imagine going now to a whole other general election? We cannot afford it at this time.
Right.
So it's not an easy decision for the president. It's not something he can decide upon and wake up, I've been advised today, tomorrow, now I have a decision. I feel he's in a place where no president in this country has ever had to face. It's difficult times and we all need to understand and sympathize with the president. So he needs to sit down and see how is whatever decision I make, how is it going to affect everybody, even the common Wanjiko like us? Does it affect us? If it is taking us back, is it taking us forward? How do we progress and how do we bring everybody on board so that whatever decision he makes, nobody feels nimeachwa nyuma? You get?
Yes.
So all I could say is I wish the LSK president would be more unbiased in his advice to the president. Yes.
All right, Honorable Wachira.
Yes.
2017, you were very vocal about the Uhuru Ruto government.
Yes.
You know, so you could probably tell us what has changed on the same, and what's your take on this issue with the dissolution of parliament?
You know, it is very sad that I am seated here with young people whom we think will be the future of this country, but they are supporting disobedience of law. Malaga's advice to president is legal because it is
It's a
Yes, but I did not interfere. Whether it is advice or order, but it is advice. But the advice is legal because it is anchored in the Constitution, and it says that after Chief Justice advised to the President shall dissolve the Parliament. The President has no option.
Yes,
You
despite
cannot-
the court suspending that advice. Okay.
You cannot, and someone has said that
Yes.
at the Supreme Court is not gender balanced.
Yes.
LSK is not gender balanced. You cannot, as a patriotic citizen, you
Yes.
cannot cite disobedience of law elsewhere as a reason why Parliament or President should disobey another legal advice or legal requirement. So the LSK is raising very important, very valid questions. And now I will come to where Moses has said, how do we get out of that? That is the question that we should be asking ourselves. How do we get out of this issue? How do we solve this issue? Because President has no option. He has to dissolve the Parliament.
Okay, so, all
He
right.
has. He has.
If he doesn't,
Yes.
he will appear. He will appear in the list of the president that has the behavior of disobeying legal advice or court orders, and that will not be good for his legacy.
All right,
I
go
beg to
ahead.
differ because if Maraga was very honest about his advice, this is 2020.
Yes.
Our elections was 2017. Parliament resumed in 2018.
Yes.
He would have given that advice then. We had women, I was part of organizations of women who tried to petition the court
Yes.
to intervene in that parliament because it had not made it to that gender rule. So for him to wait comfortably those 2 years,
Yes.
tumekuwa tu na amani, tumekaa tu hivi. Unaona tu sasa uamke 2020 just months before your retirement and decide now this is the time I feel.
So let me-
as a CJ, let me finish. As a CJ, I should advise the president to dissolve parliament. Right now is when he has seen it fit. And alternatively, there's another solution
let me correct you.
to solve this issue.
Let her finish, yes.
Every constitution, we've had our constitution for 10 good years.
Yes.
10 good years.
Yes.
We are not a rigid country.
Yes.
Even you, si mulikuwa unatumia 10 years ago, si yenye unatumia sahi. Why are we disputing the conversation of changing our constitution? There are so many things in our constitutions that are not right.
Yes.
So the president can either dissolve parliament, yes, or take it to the people to decide through a referendum. And
Alright.
we suggest a referendum. What watu wachague?
Allow me to correct her. Allow me to correct her.
I don't allow question to what both of
No,
you have said.
allow me to correct her.
It's alright, you will address that as I ask this question. Suppose His Excellency the President, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, decides to go through with what CJ Maraga advised and actually dissolves Parliament. What would that mean for our country?
All right. Before I come to that, let me correct her. You know, she is my daughter, and I have to correct her. Now, because she has to get this very clear in her mind
Yes.
that the Constitution does not tell Malaga or does not say that Malaga has to take 1 year or 2 years before he issues his advisory to the president.
Then we should
The
make the
law is very silent on
Then we
that.
should change the
What the law
Constitution.
says, and it is very clear, and I don't know why it is so hard for some of us to understand that.
not
The law is as clear as this. After Malaga's advice to you as the president, you shall dissolve the parliament.
Yes.
And let me tell you something. This country is in the record. It is losing billions and billions on billions of money through cartels and some other people who are looting this country. Money to go to by-election must be found, and we go to by-elections by December because we have other by-elections.
That is
It
within
won't be a
90
by-election,
days
it will be a
after.
general election.
No.
And when you dissolve parliament, it's a
Allow me
general
to-
election. It will not be a
Allow me
by-election.
to-
Let's Honorable Mundia.
Allow me to come
Yes,
in.
Honorable.
Bashira, tell me in this world, how many presidents have respected the Supreme Court and go back to the election?
Please name some of them.
Name.
I'd like to know.
In Africa, actually, let us not go to the whole world. Just in our region, Africa or Eastern Africa. How many? The president is a man who respects the law.
Yes.
That is number one. And is a man that we all respect. In terms of the gender role, the president has done a lot.
Yes.
Even appointing women to different capacity in the government.
Yes.
Number two, the issue of us going to election. We'll go back to election.
Yes.
Then how will you pick women to go to the parliament? We have to vote. We will not be told like, you have to vote for a woman.
Yes.
This constituency will have a woman. In his own constituency, Dagoretti.
Yes.
If the president says in Dagoretti South, we'll have a woman as an aspirant, he will feel like it's not his democracy, right?
Yeah.
To vote. Because already imekuwa dictatorship.
Yeah.
That he has to vote for a woman. This is not, it's not about for us going back to election. That it is about us making the right choice.
Yes.
You cannot be advised that put your house in fire. Then you put your house in fire. You could be a fool. Allow me to finish. The reason why I'm saying no, I'm not finished. The way I'm saying this is because the way he's saying it is like it's a must for him to dissolve. Yes, it's advice.
Yes.
And the constitution says it shall be done in 90 days. We agree. But there is a way that the parliament can come up. There is a bill actually that is, I think it's going through Senate,
Yes.
that whereby they can choose to nominate women so that they can reach that the two gender rule.
Yes.
And the main problem,
Yes.
even is not the whole assemblies, it's just in the National Assembly.
All right.
But in the Senate, we
yes.
have it's only one woman that we need to nominate.
Okay. You have something to say on the
It's
same.
not right or correct to say that the president has done a lot for the women of this country. It is a lie. The president with his deputy, as a party, Jubilee Party, has had the largest number of elected members of parliament.
Yes.
When this bill was brought into parliament, I believe Duale was the one pushing it.
Yes.
On the day they were supposed to vote, they did not marshal their members to come, and they have always been fighting it. So I wouldn't want to agree that the president has done his best. When he wants certain laws passed, they are passed.
All right.
The revenue,
Speaking
the revenue.
of the president, speaking of the
if he wants
president
it moved, it will be
and
moved.
constitution 2022 elections that are not far. People have started campaigns. You've seen politicians rallying people as they campaign. There's a particular video on the president speaking about who is going to support after his term. I'd like us to play that video just about now. We are seeing him in a forum where he's talking about who is going to support after he finishes his term.
Si ni miaka mitano, si nitaenda nyumbani. Si mimi nimesema nitaunga mkono ndugu yangu Mheshimiwa Ruto. Kwani ni Mkikuyu, lazima awe ni Mkikuyu. Si yeye atakuja na timu yake ile atakuja naye. Si mimi nitawaunga mkono. Na tuendelee namna hiyo.
I like what he said.
It is an insult to Kenyans.
All right, as you have seen that video, that the president is saying he is supporting, he's going to support the DP after his term. I'm telling you, the discussion in studio is heated up. People are talking and they are bringing up very good points. So I'd like to just quickly ask, what do you think changed? Because the DP seems to of late, his pronouncements about what is happening in the government seems to not echo whatever we have seen in that video. What do you think changed? Yes, Honorable Moses Gashugi.
And I would want to request that I don't have to be the first one. Anyway,
Yes.
I respect His Excellency the President. I believe he's a man of his word.
Yes.
In that video, he was very sober when he said that after my term, I will. This one was not I shall or I may.
All right.
He says, I will support His Excellency the Deputy President. I finish, he continues. I am one of those people who believe, I know there is Tangatanga and Kieleweke groups. I personally do not believe that the President and his Deputy are not in good terms. I actually think that there is one individual who is being played in all this thing. And he might realize very late that he was not the one the president had in mind. If the president said, I will support William Samoei Ruto, I believe he's a man of integrity. I believe he will keep his words. And even if he doesn't, the people of this country are awake. The youth are awake.
Yes.
The Hustler Nation is awake.
Yes.
We can make our own decisions.
Yes.
But we want to give him that benefit of doubt.
Probably you tell us who this individual that you feel is being played is.
Kenyans are intelligent.
But Kenyans want to know who is this
Kenyans are
particular
very
individual. Because you're talking of an individual, not a number of people.
People,
We
yeah,
would
it's
want to know
specified,
who you feel is
Yes.
being played by the president.
Jubilee. Jubilee, they know who they brought.
Let me
benefit.
help you.
Yes,
Let me
Honorable
help you.
Ashira.
The president
No, don't help me.
himself
Just speak your
said,
mind.
that he will support the deputy president
Yes.
after his second term, and the president has not said that he has changed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Although we had him say just a few months back that his choice of candidate is going to shock the
That is
nation.
not
it can be
that is not the opposite of
Yeah.
I will support you. That now the statement you have given us
Yes.
is not the opposite of I will support you.
Yes.
So it might be another statement to confuse those people. Moses is saying
Yes.
that they are being prayed, and I want to believe it is like Odinga.
Alright.
I did not say that.
I am saying
Alright.
I want to believe it is like Odinga who is being played here.
Alright.
But let me say this. I would truly love, as an elder, as one of the elders of this country,
Yes.
I would really love President Uhuru, after his term,
Yes.
to go home peacefully like President Kibaki, without interfering with the politics of 2022 onwards. I would love him to finish his term and go home.
Alright, what do you have to say about that?
This is what I
Abby?
have to say. And the president, I love the president because he's a man, what he goes through on a daily basis and how he calms himself and not speak about things in public.
Yes.
I want to grow up to have that calmness that he has. Because the president has not in any way, and I would want anybody to produce a clip,
Yes.
stood up and said who he's not going to support and who is. Are you getting? He has never stood up and said, I will not support the deputy president.
Yes.
He has never done that. Even if his people have, there are some people who just say, me, I'm close to who, I'm close to who. Even if they've gone and made utterances, it
Yes.
has not come from the president. And I would want somebody to bring that video forth because it doesn't exist.
Yes.
Second, despite all this, and we are talking about succession politics, we have seen the people around the deputy president be very vocal
Yes.
and abuse the president very openly.
No, it's not insult. It's,
I'm the one talking. They have abused him.
She's answering
They
her
have said
opinion,
very
yes.
bad things. It's like they're poking him. Jesus and Judas were very good friends. But who came and stabbed Jesus? It was Judas with a kiss. And I always, every time I remember about those two brothers,
We
I
say
just think,
Kikulacho
Kikulacho.
No, they're just
nakwambia president amekuwa hapa, yeye anataka tu legacy yake ifanye.
They're just reminding him
anataka
of his
kusafisha
promise.
anataka kusafisha nchi, atengeneze legacy yake.
Point of
Watu
correction.
huku Kikulacho
No,
only
that-
took
point of-
them.
no,
We-
They abuse him.
No,
They
you're
say
not-
all matters
no,
of
point
things
of-
in
nobody
cabinet.
has insulted
They
the
said-
president.
They said all the things.
Nobody
Today,
has
for example,
insulted
today, I'll give you an
Point of
example.
correction.
Today we had the COVID-19
Conference.
that was happening
Yes,
at KICC.
yes.
And beside the president, the seat that was put there
Yeah.
was the deputy president's seat, which was empty. He did not show up for whatever
They
reasons.
didn't invite him.
He was invited, but then he was even in the itinerary.
Point of
I can
correction.
show you.
Yes,
See,
Honorable
the personal assistant, you
Thank
think he
you,
was
Abby.
invited.
Yes,
So for him to
Honorable
Point of-
openly not, I was not done, openly not show up for an event, a state event you have been invited.
The president
I have been-
Me, when I told people to do
Alright,
I'm not
the
lying.
deputy
People are
president is not
Point-
here
point
to
of
defend
correction.
himself, so
Neither
I'd like
is it.
Washira
Point
to
of-
advise
point of-
I'm not
us.
following where the
Point of
president
correction. One,
Yes.
you cannot tell us some people are like insulting the president without telling us so and so said this and this.
Let me
And
say-
let me finish.
Okay.
Said this and this,
Yes.
and these are insults to president. Point number two, you cannot tell us that deputy president not showing up into a national event is an insult to president. It is not an insult. We have to be very honest and very clear on what we are saying, yeah, so that we can try and guide the generation, our generation, to the right direction.
Because he was speaking to me, let me reiterate and say this.
Yes.
There's a husband and a wife.
Go on.
You are married, both of you. You attend events together. As the husband, every time you go somewhere, you always have to, hey, my Kashugwa is there, and you take your wife, you invite your wife somewhere. And you have already told the people you are going to meet.
Yes.
I'm coming, Mr. and Mrs. will be at the venue, you're coming, tengenezeni viti hapo. I show up, my wife is not there. What does it, you're saying it's not an insult. You want to tell me it's an insult that, how do you don't know that first and foremost, that person was in the itinerary. I'm just saying, these are some of the
The same way we don't know why he did not come. That is why
maybe, and as we are waiting for,
Yes.
what goes out to the public perception, why did it, because people
It
are
was a
talking about
setup,
it, and I
by
brought
the way.
it up.
It was a
and I
setup.
brought it up because it's a conversation happening. How do you miss a state function?
To you think that is an insult?
All right,
That you know maybe you want to resign, you want to resign.
Yes,
President,
what do
You
you-
think it is an insult?
It's an insult. It's like you put your wife somewhere and she doesn't
Yes,
show up. And you
no,
be
no,
insulted as a
no, no,
man.
no,
Brother Washira,
Yes.
let me tell you one thing.
Go on.
The president has a
The
busy
greatest
schedule.
insult.
Allow me to say this.
Yes.
Me,
The deputy is busy.
allow me to say this.
Very busy.
Me, I have issue with the conversation
Yes.
that we're having about these two people. I won't say if he was invited or not, but I'm sure he knew this conference was there.
Yes.
You need to know.
He knew. Number one, about the video, I will tell you this. The president is a man of his word. And he said he will support William Ruto.
Yes.
As a party, we know that. And we follow what he says. He said, right now, let us deal with the Big Four agenda. Let us deal with the Big Four agenda.
You forgot about
Very-
it.
Allow me to finish. Allow me to
You
finish.
tell us
Allow
the
me
big
to
four
finish.
agenda. If you can quickly
Yes,
mention
I
them
will, I
for
will mention them in a few.
just
I
about
want to
now.
tell
They
Brother
know
Washira,
about it.
last week,
Yes.
majority of the MPs that went to Kajiado were young people. And in parliament, there was a discussion or a vetting of a young person
Yes.
that was supposed to be appointed as a deputy registrar. And there's a lot of conversation that is going there. But I want to go deeper to the conversation. But I will blame those young MPs that went to Kajiado and not to the parliament. Right now, we are not doing what we are supposed to do. We are doing more politics and no registration. About even the gender rule, most of them were doing their own political shows out there.
Yes.
I will not say that the
Remember, he's in
president.
Jubilee.
Yeah.
Yeah, the president.
It's on
I won't
record.
say that
Jubilee is not
the president was not. He did not invite William Ruto. But it is very sad
Yes.
that your own boss can have a meeting like 2 seconds away from your office. That is Arambe House. You are not there.
We have said the DP is not here to
So
defend
he's not here to
So,
defend himself.
no, I'm not, we are just
It's
saying,
in the public
the way you
We are
have played
giving
that
our views.
video,
Yeah.
we are saying that it's wrong. Even it's unbiblical that your boss
Or your
is
king.
your king and you are doing your own things. Number two, as young people, we need to discuss on things that benefit us.
Yes.
Right now, here,
No,
even at the way
I
you
will
say,
not allow Sam to go in that direction.
allow me to finish.
I'm getting
Allow me to finish.
There's a strategy that Mundia
Allow me
is
to
using.
He's not the host.
No, I like
Allow me to finish.
there's a strategy that Mundia is using, and I want to counter
He's
him.
not the host, so
No,
he
allow me to
cannot
finish.
guide us
Allow me to
on
finish.
what to
No, we
say
need to
no.
discuss on how we young people are benefiting, on the challenges that we young people. I like what DP is doing.
You're talking about
I
young
like-
people,
yes.
Mundia,
I like how
is
DP.
this
Allow me to
something-
finish.
No,
Yes.
no, you are
Let-
deviating from the
Today
topic.
he was busy serving
Honorable
Kenya.
Washira,
Where? Yes.
you talked
Where?
about
Yes, in
probably
his
you were addressing what he was not able to address before about the person he feels was or feels is being played, and you say that you feel that this person, according to you, is the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga.
Yes.
Now he came out strongly and said Baba Hajachoka, right? And he's one of the people pursuing the presidential seat come 2022.
Yes.
So I'd like us to check a video about the people from Nyanza. We've been seeing time and again Raila Amolo Odinga get his support from the Nyanza people. True or not true? So I would like us to look
Not
at that
true.
video and see what is going on in Nyanza.
Sasa kitu ambao sisi tunasema, huyu mtoto nafanyia miti kazi kama punda wake. Sisi Wajaluo ni wajinga, kwa maana kukuja mimi Raila Amolo Odinga hiyo naisha. Safari hata kama ni paka, hata kama ni nini, ndio sisi tutapigia kura. Hawezi kupigia kura Raila hiyo ODM kando. Mimi nasema, mimi naitwa Benta, mimi naitwa Jalam.
Asante mama.
Maskini jeuri.
Hii ODM tushai support miaka mingi. Sasa nasikia mnaongea kwa mambo ya mawilbaro. Hizo wheelbarrow si tunazihitaji. Wewe kama uko na pesa mingi, haujai tuletea chakula, haujai tununulia wheelbarrow, wewe hiyo pesa yako ukae nayo na wadosi wenzako.
Yes, you have seen it for yourself. And these are young people who have come up saying that they are going to support the DP because they feel that former Prime Minister has not been in support of what they are doing in Nyanza. Do you think the Right Honorable Raila Odinga could be losing his political grip and his political position in his backyard? Yes, Honorable Rashida, what's your take on that?
Former Prime Minister.
Yes.
Is terribly losing his ground.
Yes.
And come 2022, he may not get the same support he got from Nyanza in 2022. Simply because the largest number of voters in this country are young people. And these young people do not hold the same beliefs like the ones our parents used to have. For example, in Mount Kenya, we used to be told that if you elect this, mutavaa vinyasa. Mutavaliswa vinyasa. Today, our generation do not believe in that. Today, I am able to do business with a young person from Nyanza than even a young person from Mount Kenya region. I feel comfortable doing business with them and any other young person from any other region in this country. So now, the young people in this country are realizing that these politicians are only here for their personal gains, not for the society benefit. So now, Raila Odinga is losing terribly. And that is why Uhuru Kenyatta is holding his heart like this, trying to hide him here so that he can play games with Raila Odinga until 2022. Because Uhuru Kenyatta realized without bringing Raila Odinga here, we will have maandamano here in town every single day, and the business here will be interrupted. And now, come 2022, Raila Odinga will not even match 10% or even 8% the energy that William Ruto has.
You seem to be very sure about that. What do you have to say?
Because I am a very experienced politician.
This is what I'll say, because I'm also a ground person.
Yes.
When you stand up and you say, because I've also come to understand, when you say Raila is losing ground in Nyanza, it's like coming and then you say, I'm from the Rift.
Yes.
I know. And I will admit for free, Ruto has the Rift. It's like, I get a few young people to go on top of TV and say, oh, we will support Raila, Ruto has done that. It's like saying, when a group of 20 young people go on live from the Rift Valley and say they're supporting Raila, until Ruto has lost ground.
So what you're saying is that you feel this is all staged. This is all
just
a representation.
And even if it is true, and even if it's true, if Raila is losing in Nyanza, it's okay because he's also gaining in elsewhere. The same way, even in Rift Valley right now, Gideon Moi is giving Ruto sleepless night because he's having countless meetings with the Kalenjin people every day. He will probably not gather the whole Kalenjin vote in Rift Valley. Gideon will collect some of it. But where he's losing in Rift Valley, he's probably gained in Mount Kenya. So where you're losing there, you're going and getting where like that. So saying that Raila will not get votes in Nyanza. Have you seen those people? Raila anaenda tu anasimama hivi anasema, hey, it's like a wave. But at the end of the day, I wish as young people we would consider this fact, even as we are sitting here. These guys could eventually sit on a table. Uhuru, Raila, Ruto, Mudavadi, Kalonzo. They could actually sit down and come and actually shake hands and decide that will happen.
That's what you want.
Can we accommodate such an idea? Because we will be fighting for them behind the screen. And then washikane, wakuja tuambie tuko pamoja. What will we look at each other in the same eyes? Tutangaliana wewe hustler, mimi hustler. Will we be able to
Honorable someone?
That's how they want to do
a football game. It's 90 minutes.
Yes.
And kura yako siri yako. This discussion of Luo Nyanza, Mount Kenya, sijui whatever, it's a discussion we should not discuss.
Yes.
The reason being, we need to kill tribalism in this country. We need to kill it. And the only way to kill it is to kill such discussions. That Nyanza, someone is losing ground. No. This is a country and everyone is entitled to his own opinion. And voting is in the yako. So someone cannot lose a ground, and we will know that in 2022 if he's truly losing his ground. And I would say this.
That is why we want by-elections.
Yes. No, we don't.
You see how easily election has come up. It will not go to that.
It's not like if you listen to those young people, the way they are saying that they don't want Vitendawili.
Yeah.
They want the wheelbarrows. Like their discussion is not about political. It's all about them gaining. That they want to gain from the government
through William Ruto.
No, the issue, whoever he is, if it's Ruto, even if it's Raila,
Yes.
that is given out,
does not
allow, because we're in this country, he has done a lot for this nation.
He does.
Raila,
Yes.
he has fought for a lot of issues that we have freely enjoyed right now.
Yes.
We have to give him his own respect. We have, even Ruto, we have to give him his own respect. He has changed the narrative of this nation politics. So everyone has his own respect. But politically, we need to kill this thing that Brother Wachira is trying to bring about Nyanza and Rift Valley.
Yes.
No, he's not beyond 35. I know him. We need to kill it. We need to discuss about how do the young people benefit from the government.
Okay, there's a statement that Honorable Moses Gashugi just said about Raila being a giver, not being a giver but a receiver.
Raila is very stingy, everyone knows.
I don't want to expound on further than that, but I am saddened that the Jubilee Party, which was formed on the basis of unity, listening to what they're saying, sounds like they have already done away with the Deputy President William Ruto, and now they believe Raila and is their man, and maybe he may be the surprise candidate. It's quite sad because these are what we discussed last time as the politics of betrayal. Now, whether Raila is losing ground or not in Nyanza, we will confirm. It's the same thing as saying Uhuru is losing Central. And I actually...
And it is true.
Those things are yet to be tested. The issue is the president had an agreement with his deputy president, which maybe he's not honoring up to today. He has brought in Raila Amolo.
Is there election to honor? We need to correct him.
Do you have that emotion that you should be more concerned about popularizing this party because people don't even know your party. You are talking about Jubilee matters. You don't know membership.
Apparently, he gave you your time. Allow him.
But you need to tell us. You need to tell us how does
what are your party?
our president?
Go ahead.
I have not met such a loud Jubilee.
But then we are very loud. That's how we won elections.
That's what we wanted.
That's why William Ruto is being very loud. We are being very loud, and will continue to be very loud. But I was just saying that Raila, honestly, the politics is. I would have wished the discussion went in terms of succession. Now, Raila definitely is a kingpin for Nyanza. Same as Ruto in Rift Valley. Same as Uhuru in Central. And I would say that to say that Raila Mudavadi is to say that Raila is gaining ground in Central. This guy is from Central. Wachira is from Central. If these people will be very honest with you, we will sing Raila's song. They will sing Raila. Even Morade said will vote for Raila. He has made his choice. Mudavadi is a likable candidate in Central Province.
Yes.
It's easier to vote for Mudavadi. But his own running mate, Deputy Honorable Kenny, Jeremiah Kenny, did not vote for Mudavadi in 2017.
Yes.
And it tells you something about Central. To be very honest, they can lie to Raila Amolo Odinga.
You can lie to anyone.
They can lie to him.
Yes.
It is easier. I'm not saying Central vote Ruto 100%, but it is easier to vote for Ruto in Central than for Central to vote for Raila. You will be shocked.
I like the way he talks because
The
he knows
number-
all our votes.
the number of votes
I like the way he
that
talks
Raila will
because he's
get.
our spokesperson for the people.
Wow.
I had forgotten.
Alright. Now, are they-
Allow me to say this, Betty.
Yes.
My friend here.
My party.
No, my friend here.
He even
SG.
wants to know my party leader.
SG. Yeah? I like how he's saying that 2022 Raila will not gain votes. SG Ruto will not. Something
Ruto
like
will
that.
gain.
Yeah.
Ruto will gain.
My question is, as the Secretary General, he will be more. He will be supposed to be more focused on how to build a different narrative of his own party. In terms of, it's not about.
No, I want to
Wait, allow. No, I will not allow this. No, it's about.
No.
It's
Is really heated up. I want us to, because of our time. I want us, because of our time, and the discussion is hot. We shall have this. We shall have more of this. I want us to quickly switch gears because there are things that we need to address in tonight's discussion. We're going to talk about the Huduma number phase 2. What do you think about that? Because the Ruto allied MPs have been saying that this is a ploy that is going to be used to rig the 2022 elections.
True.
What are your thoughts on this, Honorable Wachira?
I feel you should start.
And I beg you, you have to protect me. Because when I am speaking, I have two people who are interfering with me, but I am not interfering when they are giving me.
So you have not interfered just a few seconds ago. Okay, go ahead.
All right, now I am saying this. Huduma number process was a scam. It is still remain as a scam. It will remain as a scam
Why
forever.
do you say so?
This is the reason. They say that for Huduma number, each one of us has to take a Huduma number. They didn't tell us.
Yes.
Harambe House Prefect, they didn't tell us. Everywhere, every single day, you will not have this. You will not be given jobs. You will not be get services from the government.
Yes.
They then said, you register, you go with that slip home, and then after some time, you get that card. Up to date, there is no card. And now, I heard them saying in Parliament that they did not threaten us. It is like we are rabbit, Kenyans are rabbit, so that they can forget easily here and there what they say. Those are recorded statements that they say they were threatening us. They went to Parliament, they said they were not threatening us. The statement themselves they are issuing toward this Huduma number process is clearly telling you and anybody else everywhere across the country or across the world
you're saying,
that this process is a scam.
You're saying it is a scam.
Yes.
My question is, do you think that this is a ploy that is being used to rig the 2022 elections?
It is not a ploy to rig 2022 election, but it was a process for some people to root public money.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, Abby.
This is what I'll say about the Huduma number, and I feel the government could have done more to sensitize and do civic education of what this is.
Yes.
Because so many people do not know what it is. And the government, for example, the people who are mandated with the Huduma number, I feel they really failed us, all of us Kenyans. They need to be more accountable of what they are doing and what Huduma number is and why we need a second phase.
Yes.
Because people will not be more positive to do that and give government information after what happened. But I don't think it's a plot to rig elections in 2022.
Alright.
The concept of a Huduma number was very good, by the way. Let us all agree. When Huduma centers came, they made work easier. Unaenda unapata information yako yote in one center.
Yeah.
So I felt the first time when the Huduma number was introduced, I felt they were trying to make all our documents under one card. The concept was good. What happened in between was terrible. failed us as Kenyans. Again, I felt very cheated the way nilienda nikapanga laini.
Yeah.
And I feel if they're coming for the second phase, they can't just come like that. People have to be engaged. Let us do public participation. Let people talk about it. Let them say, what do they feel bad about Huduma number? How do they want it taken? From what information are they willing to give? And why? You have to tell somebody, why is my blood type important for the government to know? If you're not telling the government, the people, we need blood types because we need to understand how our blood bank is empty.
Yeah.
So maybe this is information government needs, such that when somebody has an emergency of blood, hatuingi WhatsApp unatumwa message yaki blood type yako ni gani kuja utoe, you get.
Yeah.
But if information is not being given to the citizen, they will not be willing to cooperate with the government. So I feel here the government anyway ilianguka. No, it's our government. You are the government. All of us ilianguka mtihani, but I do not think it's a plot to nini. I think the concept was good, the execution was terrible, and it can happen to anyone. Unaonanga demu mzuri ni msupu, wewe unajua tu hadi umeomba na Mungu. Wewe unaona Mungu alikwambia ni huyu.
Yes.
But you know the enemy comes in very many faces, even in the face of an angel.
Like,
Umeona tu ni huyu. Wewe umeenda umekatia Mungu hata alikuonyesha wedding, and then you go and find you.
Sema kijana.
Unakuja unapata
Sema kijana.
Umeona kijana, umeona hadi Mungu ameniambia ni huyu, hadi ni huyu, chukua huyu ndio ile wedding, Ile rurashio umeiona ile. Naenda napeana roho yangu. Kumbe tuko wasichana 10. Is it my fault? You know, a lot of things may have contributed to that. So some ideas are good, but the execution fails, and we just need to see how do we rectify it and move on as a country.
All right, thank you. Yes, Honorable Mundia.
I will not dwell much on Huduma number, but I will say this.
You can dwell more on NDM.
I will say this.
Yes.
I will say this because I'm coming there. I will say this. The government is not perfect. Even the president has said we have had few challenges here and there.
Yes.
Huduma number, it is true, we had few challenges here and there.
Yes.
But I would say there's no one in this country can stand up and say that someone hold a gun in his head and threaten him to go and take Huduma number. Maybe kumekuwa na outcomes zimekuwa zikifanywa which someone thought it's a threaten, but it's not a threat. There's no way government threaten anyone. And if someone did that, you have the liberty to take that person to the law and serikali ichukue mkono yake.
Yes.
Number 2, whoever said that election is going to be leaked by Huduma number, it's a total lie.
All right.
The idea of Huduma number, the way Abi amesema, it was very important idea and a very good idea. The way we brought Huduma Center, many people thought it's just a scam. The way Washira said, the way we brought, the way NSSF and NHIF was brought, many people thought it was a scam. But day in, day out, we get to understand the importance of having NHIF day income. So right now, it will not make sense, the importance of Huduma number, but in future, it will make sense.
All right. Yes, Moses Gashugi.
You see the challenge of electing tenderpreneurs into government and businessmen and women is that they're always looking for opportunities to make money.
Everyone look for opportunities.
Thank you for confirming it, that we have some people in government who sole ideas. Their most creative ideas have to produce money for themselves. When we did the Huduma number, they didn't say it's phase 1. We were doing Huduma number registration. Now, she said that if the deputy president does not appear for a meeting, it's creating an image. Now, BBI, we know, is coming very soon. The elections are coming very soon. Why are we having a second phase registration? It's also creating suspense. We know how Msando disappeared. We know how systems. We know how.
No, tell us.
This is being very immature.
It's not immature.
This is being very immature.
No, you need to tell us.
You don't shout.
You don't make
Well, I'm getting in your tweets and your comments.
You're saying as if Jubilee did it.
There's one tweet that says the government failed us as Kenyans since they didn't give us more information, and this time round they need to sensitize the people and engage them. Just as SecGen continues, I would like as you think about your parting shot as he winds up on that point on the Huduma number. We're about to close the show, but I'd like to hear what you have to say. What are your final thoughts? What's your parting shot? Yes, continue, Honorable
I think first of all, we need to, as Wachira said, to be protected from the Jubilee side.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me withdraw the statement from Sando. But
Thank
the
you.
issue to do with Huduma numbers, we know how governments and people manipulate elections. We know how numbers are played. We know what is a deep state. We cannot lie to ourselves. It's very easy for people to go to an election and the results are announced are not true. It's just that Kenyans never have the privilege of seeing what happens behind the scenes.
Right.
So, if, for example, Raila and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, their excellencies, want BBI to pass, believe me, it will pass.
Okay.
It is not about an issue of democracy. So our issue is the timing of this Huduma is wrong.
Yeah.
If it wasn't sufficient the first time, let's wait until after 2022. We don't want to empower businessmen and women. Let us keep this country in peace. Believe me, this issue of Huduma number might be, it might ignite some emotional responses from Kenyans. We will not advise our people to go for this second registration.
Okay.
We see the problem, we will not advise people to go for it.
Let me add on that.
As you add on that, yes, kindly give your parting shot and your final thoughts on today's discussion.
Yes, let me add on that. One,
yeah,
if someone of a level of a CS says that if you do not take Huduma number, you are not going to access government services,
yes,
that is a threat. That is a threat. Number two, the idea about Huduma number, to me and to people around me and to the environment that I live in, is very useless. Because when I am going to apply for an identity card, I leave all my important details. When I am going to apply for good conduct, I leave all my important details. When I am going to apply for NHIM, I leave all my important details. When I am going to apply for any other card or any other certificate, KRA and all those certificates, I have to leave my details. Why should we be subjected to another exercise for Huduma number instead of government going to that all those departments,
yes,
compile all those reports and give us Huduma number? It was as simple as that. But because someone wanted to eat public money,
yeah,
that is why. Now I am saying this. My parting shot
yes,
is this country is heading to the wrong direction. The president is and his members of cabinet members are heading to a different direction other than the one citizens themselves are heading to. Yes. This country is heading to the wrong direction. And at my age, I am allowed in my community, I am allowed to advise or guide the president himself, because I have a clear knowledge of where a country should be going. This country, everything is getting messed up. Nothing is now. The president recently said that this COVID-19 this.
You have about 1 minute.
Yes, this.
Finish.
He needs a report about that,
yeah,
and he gave 21 days. After 21 days, nobody seems to understand whether the president had issued a directive or not. So my parting shot is the president must sit down with all stakeholders in this country and start thinking about hitting a U-turn and now take the country to the right direction.
Thank you, Honorable Wachira. Yes, Abby.
I'll just mention slightly about the Huduma number,
yeah,
and then I will make my parting shot, because I know and I'm hoping, because a lot of people have been vocal about the Huduma number,
yes,
and I know the government is listening, and I know they need to engage, and they know even themselves they will need to engage citizens and do a lot of public participation and civic education on why the Huduma number is important to us, yes, as a country.
Yeah.
And when that is done and we are engaged, we can then be more receptive to the Huduma number. And when that happens, and I pray that all the young people who have not taken Huduma number, waende na mpeane Huduma number, msianze kuambiwa what to do. My parting shot is this. Even in the Bible, when King Saul was still king,
yes,
and God had lost favor with him. I am not putting a name to
King Saul had lost favor with God.
And God told Samuel, go and lay hands on David. I have seen a shepherd there, and he will be the next king. And now when someone was laying hands on David, he told him, you are the next king after Saul.
Yeah.
David alikuwa anajua as growing up, I'm the next king, but he had two choices. He would have decided his kichwa yake ifure, ameshajua amekuwa king, let me go and murder the king and become king. But he knew he had to wait for his time to be king. There was even a time King Saul was seeking refuge in a cave, the same as King David, because after King Saul knew that David is the next person, he started sending people to kill him. Because as a king, of course, you get uncomfortable knowing who is going to succeed you. You get, but he had already started sending people there. And when he sought refuge in the same cave as David, David's men, advisors even told David, this is the day God told you, go and kill King Saul. But David was wiser and he listened to God's counsel. And God told him, I told you I'll make you king, you will have to wait. What did he do instead? He just went and cut a cloth. And the next morning he showed King Saul. Akamwambia, see, I had a chance to kill you, but I did not kill you because I will wait for my time. And even Saul was so touched, he even blessed the kingship of David. Current time in politics, you cannot tell me you have a king who is serving. You are undermining him. You're slashing his decision. You are killing him from the inside. You're killing him from the inside, and you're claiming to be a man of God and leading people and going to churches and talking the way you have the word of God inside. But what you are doing is opposite. Everything happening politically in Kenya is in this holy book. These things happened. If you're a man and a woman of God and you're a young person who goes to church and you believe in God, you just need to search for God's voice and you will hear it. You will get to understand the political landscape of Kenya. But what I will not do as a young person, and this is my proclamation as Abigail Wanjiru Gikonyo, I cannot follow a man who is undermining his king openly in an ungodly way in a bid to convince me to give him his vote. For me, it does not sit well with me, and I tell people we have to search a way where we connect with God in a way where he guides us. Who are we supposed to vote for in the next? Because religion and politics, they are like this, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you, Abby. Yes, Honorable Samuel, your final thoughts?
That was a powerful.
I don't know whether that's what God has said.
It was a powerful statement. Everything has its own history. Right now, we are moving in technology very fast. In 90s, we used to pay our tax through the money, cash money. We upgraded to M-Pesa and to everything. Kitambo, we used to register our things like voters card through what? Through normal registration, the biro pen registration. We moved to digital registration, whereby your name is keyed on the computer, and in the black book, you can miss your name. So it's keyed in black book and also in the computer. The Huduma number, it's a progression. We are trying to bring all the services together. All the services from KRA, NSSF, NHIF. You don't have to carry over 30 cards in wallet. You will carry one. That is a progression on to the Huduma number. The far that I know. It's a one of good ideas, and I'm sure you can, even yourself, carrying 30 cards and having one card that carry the 30 cards. It's a good progress. We have challenges, and those challenges are there, and I'm sure soon we will overcome it. I won't give out the parting shot, but what she has said, it's my parting shot.
All right, thank you, Honorable Mundia. Yes, Honorable Moses.
Actually, that what she has said should be our parting shot.
All right.
That King Saul fought David, and David had to go hide in the wilderness, which would be current. So David went to hide because King Saul was threatened, and he did not want to hand over power. There was no succession. So as a good king, the day he realized that David would be the next king, he would have said, "Come, my son, let me teach you how to be a king. Stay in this palace." But what did he do? He threw a javelin at him, and he had to go hide. So he's waiting in the wilderness for his day to come. So we are waiting for this king for his day to go, then our David will come.
That is a wrong interpretation. David did not go around saying that he's going to be a king. David is actually helping himself. Did not go around. David is hiding
hiding in Calais. David is hiding in Calais.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming to the next discussion. I believe it was very productive, and you have gotten something from what we have just had. And from what we've just discussed, when all is said and done, according to 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 17, the Bible says, respect everyone and love your brothers and sisters. Fear God and respect the King. Thank you once again for tuning in to The Compass. My name is Betty Muzarika, and until next week, same time and same place, keep it JBN Television.
And David is hiding in Calais.
Yes, he's actually.
We've been deceived that someone is wealthy when they've got a new pair of Jordans on, when they've got the latest clothes, the latest jewelry. We think that's a sin.